All right, guys, we have here today for you a automatic locking furnace XP farm. Now, what I mean by that is we have an XP furnace system here that automatically locks itself once it reaches a certain level of items smelted, which is 5 stacks and 16 items. And the reason that is because we're working on the limitation of a set of hoppers here, that once this hopper here is full, it will unlock, well, basically it'll then lock the furnace and unlock the hopper here to empty itself. But then the furnace will still then remain locked and will smelt the remaining items in here to the capacity of the bamboo, which means the bamboo will only smelt up to 16 items because it's divisible. It takes 4 bamboo to smelt 1 item, so then 64 divided by 4 is 16. So that's an explanation of why the reason we're using this amount in general is because it tends to be a good amount of XP to manage your items, given that cactus gives 1 XP per smelted cactus, and so that's going to give us quite a bit of XP to mend our items. Now I'll explain how this works, and I'm hoping that by the time the explanation is done that this furnace will have filled up this hopper here. We got another 34 items to go in there. So anyways, what happens is we're reading this hopper here through this block with a comparator right there, which is being basically subtracted by 15 with this redstone block. So basically, until this hopper is entirely full, there won't be a signal put out at all. So when it does put out a signal, it will extend this piston to here, so that it then gives a full signal strength of 15. And it will also send a signal through here, which will depower this torch and extend these composters, which is what actually locks the furnaces. Okay, so it also sends a signal then down to these rails here, 2 different rails, so they don't, the power doesn't bleed over. One's power, one's activator. And what's going to happen there is it's going to send a single signal through, because it's going to remain powered, because it'll stay powered all the way till this is empty, because we're removing this block, then, which means this composter is then going to stay extended here, powering, and it's got just 1 level in it, so it'll power this comparator here to signal strength 1, which will only turn off this torch. So we're doing a lot of signal splitting here. So this torch turns off, which powers this torch, which unlocks this, which allows all the cactus to flow through and come out here. But it also sends a signal to this note block, which sends a signal to this piston to retract this observer, and then immediately, because this again powers this and sends a signal there, it immediately forces it back down, and basically that makes a T flip-flop here. Yeah, so what happens is basically it'll retract the block, which forces this composter to stay locking the furnace until we then manually reset it by clicking on this note block. So basically what's going to happen here is it'll lock up. There'll be 16 items in here. You grab them, pull them out, drop them either on the stair or the carpet here, and they'll automatically get spit out into the void. And then as soon as you're done doing that, you can click on the corresponding note block and to reset the whole thing. And that's how it works. And there you have it. And that's what happens basically. And as you can see, all of the green is getting spit out this side. And it's also, I wanted to show you that it's important that this side is not also being affected. It's pretty, should be, yeah, we reset it awfully recently. Okay, so let's have a look here. This is gonna, let's go ahead and speed up this process a little bit by taking some of these out and see what's gonna happen once that empties. All right, once that empties, everything goes back to normal except for this block and the composter. And here in a minute, this will stop smelting once we get to 16 in there, or when these run out, basically. All right, guys, as you can see, it's not allowed any new cactus in and no more bamboo. And so as soon as it's finished smelting the 16, it will stop. And we're already in survival mode, so let's see how much XP this gives. So we're just going to grab it and toss it. So that's 17 full levels from this furnace. So once you're done with that furnace, let's go back to survive creative. Once you're done with the furnace, as you can see it's still locked up. All you need to do now to reset it and get it going again is just right click the note block, and everything goes right back to the way it was to start with. Empty hopper. And there you go. All right, how would I build one of these things? Well, we're going to start with our furnace first, and the items going into the side is for our bamboo. And we're going to go and put a furnace there, or a chest there, and a hopper on top, just like that. And then we're going to need to place a temporary block and then that block. And then we'll go ahead and bring out this line here, which is going to be our supply line, because we're going to need to connect up to it. So I'm going to bring out 1, 2 hoppers just like that. So 1, 2, and then your supply exit line's going that way. And then you're going to take another hopper and place it facing into the block you just placed. Then you'll take a comparator there, going in, just like so. Okay, so underneath, you need to place a temporary block there, break it. Gonna need another comparator right here that goes into a block, temporary block, and then another block. And we're gonna place a repeater on 4 ticks. Then we're gonna come, considering we're building the one on the right, we're going to come to the right side of the block here, and this comparator, the block that's facing it into, we're going to place a repeater there, place a sticky piston with a redstone block on its side, and then we're going to place another block up like this with a torch on its back, block on top of the torch, and then another torch on that block with a sticky piston there. With a composter, and then we're going to need a pumpkin place into the composter. Pumpkin just like that. So that's going to give us at least a signal strength of 1 to lock this up. Okay, so where are we at now? Okay, so we need a observer block with either a powered rail or a activator rail like that, with a sticky piston facing just like that towards the front of the build, with another composter on it, again with a pumpkin placed inside. And then, so with the extension space away, we're going to place a comparator there. It goes into a block, with a note block underneath it, and then a torch, dust, a observer facing into, looking out of the note block with a piston sticking down. Temporary block there so we can place another observer on top of that piston with another note block, and then we can just connect all this up here. Okay. So coming out of this torch, we need a repeater into a block with a torch on it, which goes into another block. And somehow we are stuck in there. I'm gonna place the block there with a torch. All right, underneath there, we're gonna need a block, and we're gonna go 1, 2, 4, block up like that, block up like that, and so torch, torch, torch. Repeater. Place that redstone block there into the repeater with a sticky piston there. Another standard tick repeater with a server down like that. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that should be everything. All right, guys, there you have it. Duplicated again to the other side and working just perfectly. And anyways, guys, this is all I've got for you today. This has been Ike bringing you ideas and tutorials to help you survive and thrive in Minecraft. Until next time, guys, happy Minecraft, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.